Ever since the 2015 WOTUS ruling, the agricultural community has been concerned that the definition of navigable waters protected by the federal government was both overreaching and vague. However, that has now been repealed by the newly passed Navigable Waters Protection Rule, which clearly outlines which bodies of water fall under the Clean Water Act.
We set up 4 very clear categories of water. So traditionally navigable waters in the territorial seas, tributaries of those that flow more than just in response to rainfall. So like Peachtree Creek here in Atlanta that feeds the Chattahoochee. The third category are, I guess we call them our round waters, lakes and impoundments of jurisdictional waters that contribute flow to jurisdictional waters, and finally wetlands that are adjacent to jurisdictional waters. Your farm pond constructed in upland this is not.
While this new ruling will roll back some of the regulations, EPA wants to make it clear that the environment will still be well protected.
I think the rule is very clearly tied to the language of the Clean Water Act. The words in the Clean Water Act when we talk about waters of the U.S. Are navigable waters. And so this rule protects our navigable waters. And the underlying premise for each of those categories is that there is a clear tie to navigability. These are key waters that feed our nation's navigable waters.
And this recent ruling is good news for farmers and ranchers on a number of different fronts. Not only does it narrow the federal oversight, but it also gives them some clarity heading into the future.
Still protects the environment, still does things, provides leadership in that area, but still provides a reasonable and sound policy for the people that are producing food and fiber for all of us, and being good stewards of the land as they always are. We now have got some real defined areas of where there are navigable waters, and we can promote a policy that landowners and farmers, foresters, ranchers all across this country can finally understand.
The new rule will also improve the process of federal permitting by clearly defining requirements, which should ease the regulatory process. That's a far cry from previous years where farmers and ranchers had to spend an inordinate amount of time and money getting federal approval.
You know, as y'all know, it really has been decades of confusion and litigation around the definition of waters of the U.S. And so to have a clear definition that's based in law is wonderful. For a great deal of time, and particularly in the wake of the 2015 rule, just a real difficulty understanding where federal law applies. If you want to do something on your land, do you need a federal permit and the cost that entails? And so very often folks would have to retain lawyers, consultants, hydrologists to tell them what they could do on their land. And so this provides a clear definition that is understandable and tied to the law so that folks know what they can do with their land, and they can use their land as they see fit within the confines of the law.
This new ruling will go into effect 60 days after it's entered into the Federal Register. Reporting from Atlanta, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.